Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on Penguinz0 exposes his Twitch and YouTube earnings by jonesing finance.
All right, Charlie.
If you're a new subscriber on the channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. If you're not a new subscriber and you're just a new viewer, get the hell down there and subscribe. What are you doing? And hit the like button too. Come join this big old party we're starting, and we'll get right into it.
Charlie got into the actual money specifics of the back end of his channel. If you guys don't know, he self-demonetized his channel because he's in a blessed financial position. He doesn't have to worry about the money overhead and worrying about that kind of things. But let's always talk about the specifics. Let's get into it.
Here on the
I'm a big money nerd. I like looking at the numbers, seeing all the data that and where everything came from. It's a very fun part of looking at things.
back end, so I wasn't able to just set the date range from 2017 to 2025 because it would just freeze. It would just have a conniption. I bet the Twitch HQ a server just fucking caught flame with me trying to do that, so I had to break it up into chunks. So in 2017 is when I really started like actually streaming on Twitch.
Like, just to be
I would substitute out, if you're starting streaming today, I would recommend not using Twitch. I would recommend going to Kick, YouTube, or some other streaming site that I haven't thought of off the top of my head here in 10 seconds. Because with all the events that have happened, the latest, TwitchCon news where one of the high-profile streamers, was sexually assaulted in under 3 hours of the convention starting. Like, you couldn't even keep people safe for a day, Twitch. You can't moderate your website. There's zero chance you could have ever moderated that in-person event. In fact, all leading up to TwitchCon, I told people you shouldn't go. You shouldn't attend. I was one of those guys in their chats just, hey, don't do that. Probably a bad idea. There's some, pretty deranged individuals who are on Twitch and on Twitch, and some of those girls have stalkers already. Like, I believe it was Emaru and a couple of her friends a couple months back that actually had a stalker on the LA pier. It's like, come on. The freaking pier, and you're out there, and it's like everybody who's played GTA knows that location. And it's like, come on. How are there not anybody out there, any guards or police or anything to stop these people from being able to just harass a streamer in public? And it's like, alright, so TwitchCon, you might as well go, it'll be better, everybody's going to be there, you're going to have lines up, but no, because you vet the people who are coming to the meet and greet, but you don't vet their plus ones. What?
this blessed position, right? Man, just imagine, right? But 2 years, the span,
And all that Twitch news is on top of the blatant favoritism that they show towards certain streamers. And if certain streamers are talking about certain topics in life, things that they like, they won't ban them, they'll leave them up. They put inappropriate things on the front page of Twitch. It's like Twitch is just doing everything they can to shoot themselves in the foot and destroy every ounce of credibility that they have.
He was doing 600 hours streamed, if you don't see on this right side, with 0 ads. So he just was literally doing.
Yeah, and to get back to this clip here, I saw a little bit of Charlie's clip here. I've seen a little like teeny bits of it, but I haven't seen the full gap of info. I believe Charlie said during this specific 2-year period, from 17 to 19, he was just like a part-time streamer. He just did it when he wanted to have some extra fun on with his viewers. And right there, he made over 55 grand. Like, that's pretty damn good. That's, that makes more than some people's day jobs do. That's a pretty good record. Even if he lived in a state like California or New York, he doesn't. He lives in the great state of Florida. But even if he lived in one of those other states that take like half your percent for taxes, it's like, oh, that 55K revenue, that's still almost 30K. Like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for the amount of time.
It as a side project, $55,000. Break that up, $20,000 per year. That's a blessed position, regardless if you saw that as a hobby. Appreciate any large creators showing their analytics like this.
I dabbled in 2016, but it wasn't until 2017 where I got like partnered and everything. So from 2017 to 2019, I made $55,500 for those 2 years. And I wasn't full-time streaming at this point.
Yeah, you do the math here. Charlie basically made $90 an hour for each of these 614 hours streamed. Like, that's impressive. That's pretty damn impressive.
Or anything. It was just a bit of
Oh yeah, here's where he says it was goofing around, having
brought
fun.
in $55,500 from 2019 to 2020.
This is something that you like to see, right? From a large content creator, just being completely transparent with the back-end analytics, how much money they make, how they make their money. Because with conversations and seeing stuff like this, we can, you know, extrapolate all of these different forms of like, this is how many hours that they use. I mean, just right here, 3,600 hours, 2 days worth of ad breaks, nearly 300,000 subscriptions, a total of one.
Yeah, and then for this next 2-year period when he went full-time streaming, he made about $356 an hour. Like, some of these numbers are just absolutely insane and astronomical, and I don't know why I keep closing my calculator.
1 point.
Because he's got a third set of graphs.
One is when I took it a lot more seriously, as you can see.
Yeah, he took it full time.
My time streamed went from 600 hours on the 2 years to 3,600 hours, and I made $1.2 million for those 2 years. And this was before my Twitch contract, so the only ads that were running on my stream were like the pre-roll ads.
That's another thing I forgot. So,
by the way, do the math with the hours. He spent over 150 days, 150 24-hour periods streaming. Like, that's a lot of hours to be sitting at your computer, talking to a chat, being entertaining. For Charlie, it's not hard. He just kind of exists, and he's entertaining by the way he says things and does things. So that's quite fun.
For the top end of...
And if anyone deserves this, he does.
Creators, they had a financial breakdown of, like, exclusivity. I don't know all the specifics, but Twitch actually paid them out. Like, hey, you'll stream on Twitch for, I don't know, $5,000 or $5 million a year, right? Like some wild number. And this is just showing strictly the baseline.
Ads are the ones that Twitch would insert themselves. So this was still without ads, by the way. $1.2 million, almost 1.3. Then I got a Twitch contract, which necessitated a certain amount of ads. 3 minutes of ad.
Okay, so this one's over 3 years though, 2021 to 22. 4 milli, boy. Listen, streaming pays.
Time per hour. And from 2021 to basically 2025.
Yeah, and in this time period, he made about $687 per hour, which is just nuts. It's like, imagine if you were making $680 an hour at your own job.
I made 4.1
Jesus.
million dollars. And to those astute observers amongst you with those keen peepers, you might notice that my subscriptions are less than half of what they were for the previous 2-year period. So even though I have 180,000 less subs across these 3 years than I did for the previous 2, I still made significantly more. And that is because of ads. Ads are the breadbasket to streamers.
Man.
There's definitely a reason that Twitch gives you a minute of ads, or 30 seconds to a minute of ads, when you open a new stream for the first time, or shortly after you've opened that stream. It's because they are giving that money, some of it, to these creators. And, you know, the platform, I guarantee, is getting a good little chunk back across the board. Like, you see numbers like this for Charlie to get. Imagine what Twitch is getting when you add Charlie's numbers. You add XQC's numbers. You take, it won't be sexist, I'll add Pokemon's numbers. Lily Peachy's numbers in there. And it's like, yeah, you get some of the larger creators, and you get Hassan's numbers. And it's like, I wonder how much they are actually taking home. I know Twitch is not really known to be profitable or anything, but I'm still curious to know how much they're actually taking home specifically just from ad revenue.
And so, I mean, regardless, it's not just for streamers, right? For content creation as a whole. For those of you who don't know, views equate to ads, right? Views make AdSense, but there's other ways you can siphon off to selling, affiliates, revenue, brand deals, sponsorships, all these other things, right? But like ads are one of the easiest ways for most.
Yeah. Whenever I get the point on this channel, if we get there to be monetized and have ads on, I'm definitely having ads on. But that's because I want this channel to at least make the money to pay me to make the videos, to cycle that through and just, I don't need anything. I don't even need numbers like Charlie put up. Those would be great if ever happened, but I don't need that. That's insane. Some of those numbers, like, I'm not saying I couldn't spend that amount of money, because I easily could. American consumption and consumerism is at all-time highs, and it's very easy to spend that amount of money. However, I don't need to, nor do I want to have that a large amount to have to spend. I guarantee it'll be some good charitable donations in the future if I come into stupid money like that.
Beginners, like
because that's what it really is. It's stupid money.
And just seeing the back end analytics.
But at least Charlie is someone who went and he's put it back into his channel. He spent it right. He got hired out some positions. He got some friends, and he still just lived, relatively a normal lifestyle. So he's got tons to invest and make content and do whatever with for years and years to come. It's awesome. I mean, he bought his warehouse before that one got damaged in the hurricanes, and now he's got like that farm plot that he got out, the huge area of land that he's able to make content on, and all of that's great. I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
It's wild of a large creator like this.
That is the jelly to the peanut butter sandwich that is streaming. And keep in mind, these numbers here, the 4.1, the 1.2, those don't even include brand deals or sponsorships. Yeah. And
he doesn't take a ton of them, but the ones he does, I'm betting you, they have to pay him a pretty penny to get his audience.
Have any like ancillary donations, but a lot of streamers do.
Yeah, so like, again, he's talking about the different ways. Like, I believe God Slap is one of his like creations.
Yep, God Slap's his comic book. He's got the Goof Juice sponsorship with Gamer Sups, which that one's a cool one. I think before Gamer Sups, he did G Fuel before G Fuel kind of imploded internally with some of its staff and some little teeny controversies in there. But Gamer Sups is really where it's at anyway. They allow you to name your stuff with funny names.
The G Fuel and all of these other like products that
Gamer Sups, buddy.
A streamer.
Gamer Sups.
It's just wild to see $4 million
through like Streamlabs for like text to speech stuff like that.
Yeah, Streamlabs is another sponsor he did too. Opera GX has sponsored him for a bit too.
Solely through just
a couple of the ones I remember.
Itself. And I think something important to mention. Contrary to popular belief, I am not a top streamer. I am also not even a full-time streamer, and I haven't been for over a year and a half.
He may let that one slide and call himself not a top streamer. We can let him get away with that one. However, he is still a top creator across YouTube and Twitch. He is still up in that top group. Everybody, literally, I think everybody who does content knows Charlie. They know Moist Critical, they know Penguinz0, they know him by one of the names that he's goes by online. They know him by something, and it's like, no matter which corner of this online space you're in, you know Charlie.
So, my 2025 earnings, I didn't really put them here. It's about 100K. So, another thing to add to the total here. But I'm not even a full-time streamer anymore, and I haven't been a top 20 streamer probably since the fucking Among Us boom. Back in the prehistoric internet.
I think it's also good to see.
Although, do you think any of us viewers could name the top 20 streamers off the top of our heads?
Say, right? Charlie's a well-known figure. Regardless of what platform he goes to, he's a internet OG, right? At this point. So even though like he might not be a full-time streamer, if he goes live, he's pulling in a few thousand, regardless, bare minimum. So, being in that.
All right, a few of these numbers we probably expect. Kai Cenat. I don't know Squeezy. I don't know K Drell. I know who Jason the Ween is. I think I've heard of Ellison. Maybe. Might be someone else I'm thinking of. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Never heard of him. Of course, Queso. I wish he wasn't this high up still, but fucking Hassan. Stable Ronaldo, I've heard of. Not in English and I can't read it. Asmongold here. Don't know. Don't know why Prime Video themselves is this high up. Seems kind of cheating, but I'll let it slide. Never heard of FPS Shaka. It's like, how many of you guys know these top 20s? And how many of you also know Charlie? I would still put Charlie in the top. Like, even XQC is 27 now. Like, he used to be number 1. And now he's, only above Adapt. It's like, they're time streamed is a lot different. Average viewers is different. However, hours watched is pretty close to itself. I'm not sure where their metrics are coming from other than the total views one, which if that's true, his should be way up. But yeah, this is one of those where I'm looking and I'm like, these top 20, I'm like, I know 9 of them. Like, I know under half of what's considered the top streamers, which
Again, a blessed
okay
position.
At age now,
no one talks
Talking
about
this
most
era
of
is
them
the only
enough.
time where I broached like the top 20. I've not been in that ball game for a while, and yet this is still a crazy amount of money where there is no reason I should be taking money from just normal people working normal everyday jobs. It just doesn't feel right to me. Streaming is the easiest job there is. Hot take, I know, sorry, that was a
Now, here's the thing, right? I'm gonna ask you guys: do you think that there's something that he could be doing with that money, right? Like hypothetically, I know that him turning it off is an easy.
Yeah, him turning it off is the easiest way to just not have to deal with doing something with the money, and it's so easy for Charlie just to go, oh, but if you were going to give that money to me, go give it to some better cause, give it to someone else. But there are a large group of those people who now won't do anything with that extra money. They'll probably keep it for themselves. A very small portion, I would say, probably less than 20% of them will actually go give it to somewhere else and donate it there instead of just chatting it into Charlie to, have them potentially read out their chat. It's like, yeah, I feel that. That is one of the reasons why I like the Linus Tech Tips approach, where they got their merch message where you buy something on their website, and if you buy it while they're live, you leave them a message and they get to check it. And it's just one of those where you look and you go, oh, well, you got this, and this, and you're not donating to these guys. You're only donating to that one, but that one doesn't have anything on anymore. So we're going to just take it and you look at it and you're not going to donate it, and it'll just sit in your account. And I think if Charlie took it and he collected all those and he's like, hey, go vote, and he's got the people to create it, but he could create like a little poll on a website that just collects votes all year long, and each end of year, whatever's in the donated pile, it'll just get sent to whatever's the most popular charity on the list. Like that would be kind of a fun thing to do, is see how big we can get this donation pile each year over year. It's like, yeah, Charlie would encourage you just to go send the money there directly, but like I said, there's a lot of people who won't do that.
Easy way or easy hands-off method, but I know specifically for certain platforms like YouTube, you can dedicate straight towards fundraising. He could even just do call outs like, hey, all of the money raised will be completely donated to this nonprofit, dog shelter kind of process. I'm curious on if you guys think that he should do this, right? Because YouTube, Twitch probably love him, right? Like if you're gonna go hands off, because I believe YouTube regardless will play ads on it, regardless. So they're gonna just get the AdSense, but it's just, what are the different options you guys think?
Blistering, scolding magma that I just spewed out there, but it is just the truth. I sit in swamp ass for a few hours every day. Well, at least I used to when I was a full-time streamer, playing games or just yapping. Now compare that weenie.
I love that he's just calling it as it is, right? Because let's be honest, right? Because as a streamer, which I'm not, I'm a little baby content creator. But as a streamer, that whole conversation that was like, what's harder, working a real job or being a content creator? We know working a real job is harder, right? The 9 to 5 aspect, the mental drain, because being a content creator, being a full-time streamer, doing what you enjoy, the perception of it at least, is a top dream. It's a dream job. I mean, not talking the size of a penguin, but you're talking the size of, just say, someone who's 10 the size. I'm not making 4 million, I'll make 400,000. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that kind of conversation. It's sort of laughable to saying that, no, I play video games for a living, and you know, my life sucks. If you're
Yeah, if you are a person who sits on your ass or even is out doing IRL streaming for, your job 8 hours plus a day, and you think your job is hard or you think something's difficult about your life, you don't know difficult. You have never done a difficult day if you think that's hard. I actually envy your life if you think streaming and sitting talking to a chat and just, for some, shouting off their ass for 8 hours a day is something that's, good for their brains. Good for them, or it's hard at all. If you think doing that's hard, you should go out and actually do a hard day's work. I'm not saying it's the hardest job out there, but the hardest I have ever personally worked was when I worked my first job at McDonald's. And working in that kitchen, they work you to your ass and back. You will be exhausted by the end of the day where you're just like, I am done. That was a fucking ridiculous day. It's not the hardest jobs I've ever had, but it is definitely the hardest I have worked. It is a simple job, but it's not easy. There are jobs I've had that are difficult, but stupid easy. They're
a Call of Duty streamer and you're making over $75,000, you can't argue about anything. That's just, it is what it is. If you're a content creator, creatively enjoying your outlet, finding your parasocial little, niche on the internet, it is what it is.
Hut Jr. routine to a normal person who is actually working their ass off every single day in a 9 to 5 environment, grinding in the hopes of chasing the American dream. And then they'll come home, maybe turn on my stream and donate a couple of dollars to me. And it just doesn't sit right with me.
That's a weird, parasocial relationship. I've never.
Yeah, that's the weird one I had when I heard this part of the clip. I heard a small portion of it. But I don't like this take that Charlie actually has. He's like, oh, I feel weird when I'm sitting here, I've got this big stack of money behind me, and people want to just add to it. It's like, okay, make a new bucket of money that just gets donated, you idiot. Yeah, I get it, that's more work for you to do later on, and you're just getting it given, getting it moved on. But it's just, there are people who will donate to only the people they watch. There are people who, even if you tell them, don't donate to me, go send that money somewhere else, they're still going to give it to you. So you should just accept it, take it, and yeah, it's one of those where you should just accept it. And then at the end of the year, all year long, collect votes for a poll and send the money to whatever's the most popular charity in your chat, or just pick a charity you care a lot for.
Been one to, outside of maybe supporting someone's work, or I want to buy merch that is super designed well. LTT could be a perfect example, right? He designs things that aren't quick, white label drop shift, super cheap.
I mean, Linus Tech Tips LTT that he's mentioning, they design everything from the ground up. There's a reason they made their ratcheting screwdriver and it took them 3 fucking years to make it. It's because they wanted it done right. They wanted it to be perfect. And they wanted specific features with it. And once they finally got there, now they've got one of the best ratcheting screwdriver tools on the market. It is actually heavily tested and it's global. It's all around the world. Linus went to fucking Taiwan and he met someone who was building on the show floor of one of the events he was at with one of his screwdrivers. And he's like, hey, awesome. Anywhere he goes and they're using his screwdriver or they don't have his screwdriver, he'll hand them one. He usually has a couple extra in his bag to give out and share when he's, doing collabs with people. And it's awesome.
Right. Printify. Everyone knows those kind of products.
And then you get to his clothing and his merch line. Like, he's hired an entire team. His company's like 100 people or something now, and he's got a good chunk of them working in what he calls Creator Warehouse. It's his merch area, and that is their job. He's got fashion people actually, who know the materials, who went to school for all this. He's got people who are, engineers and designers in the tool space now, and who are learning more and more. It's like it's a constantly, learning environment, but it seems like a very positive environment to work in, and I love it. I don't want people just to have the crappy white label shirts. I mean, for example, I'm wearing one of Linus's shirts right here. This long sleeve one, I've had it a couple years now. It's super comfy, but, it's one of those where it's like, eventually this will wear out, because everything has a lifespan and I'll have to buy another one. And yeah, I'm 100% not just, I'm not sponsored or anything or sucking it down, but I genuinely enjoy his products, his clothing line. I've got several of his different things. I mean, back there you've got the orange jacket, and then behind the other coat is another one of them because I liked that style so much. I wanted to make sure I had them.
That's right. You just slap a label on it, charge $20. But there's certain aspects of you work your 9 to 5, you don't have your finances right, and somehow you still have a parasocial relationship to where you're giving someone.
But yeah, Charlie has the reverse parasocial where he's like, I don't like being just given that $5 donation from loser124 in chat. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but just put it in a pile. Donate it somewhere.
It's something that I've never agreed with.
Otherwise, right? It might just get spent on bullshit from that person instead.
Never be donating to any content creator ever. It is what it is.
And also, to double back onto that, if you're in debt, not only should you not be donating to creators, you should also be not doing anything that really is spending money. So, no Patreon subscriptions, no website sign-ups for any of them, no YouTube memberships, no YouTube Premium, no Twitch Turbo, I think they call their version, no Twitch subscribing. I mean, the only subscribing I'd say you could do is if, you require Amazon for certain life things, use the free Twitch Prime sub each month on someone, and that would be your only way to, contribute to a streamer. And in fact, right now, I would highly encourage all of you, if you have Amazon, go connect it with your Twitch, get Twitch Prime sub, and go give it to someone like, for example, this month at least, Emaru, because after being sexually assaulted at TwitchCon and Twitch not giving a flying fuck, I think Twitch deserves to give her a little extra payday. So if you have a Twitch Prime, go give it to her. She fucking deserves it this month.
I'm sorry, you're going to deal with ads, right? Like, if you have to sit through ads, you're in debt. Why are you donating to content creators?
Exactly.
But, I digress.
Me taking that kind of money, given what I've made from all of this. And I really should have just stopped this a long time ago, especially considering this is just the Twitch side of things. I told you.
However, it's not like he's just having this big pile of money and he's Walter Whiting sitting on it, just watching it grow bigger and bigger and bigger. He spent it. He bought himself an esports org, and he's, taken on a couple different teams, and he spent millions with that adventure. And he really has had the, the goal in it where, yes, it hopefully makes money at one point in the future, but in the early time, he's just having fun. He's repeatedly said it. He's like, I love watching the team. I love watching them play. I love watching them kick ass. And even when they lose, it is still fun to watch because, it's like, I did this. I inspired it to get here. It's awesome. This is something that wouldn't have happened without me and my team and everything we do here at Moist. And I love that he's one of the most humble creators.
I'm going to show you my YouTube earnings.
Hey,
so
let's go. Let's see the YouTube.
Oh, I was hoping he would include this one.
Fucking
$35 million is absolutely insane.
$35 million. Jesus.
Number.
That is over the course of 18
From
years.
starting this channel in 2007 all the way.
Now, here's the thing. I do remember him back in the day, like, not monetizing his platform. I don't.
So, if you work a standard 40-hour-a-week job and you have no overtime, no extra hours, and that's all you did, you on average work 20,080 hours a year. Or 2,080 hours a year. I don't know why I said 20. But, and then we multiply that by, let's just say 17, because this 18th year isn't full, and I think it's only about a half. So we'll round down, especially because it looks like he didn't even earn anything until 2016. So, in fact, I'm actually going to reset my clock here, 2080, and then we'll times that by, we'll go 9. So for about 18,000 hours, if he were working a full-time job, 18,720, and now we'll take 870, 022, divide by 18,720. On YouTube, he's made about $1,916 an hour if he only worked, 40 hours a week, which, that number's much skewed. It's probably a lot lower than that, because I guarantee you he didn't just work only 40 hours a week on this YouTube channel all this time. Especially, just proving the Twitch hours that he streamed, that is an insane amount of time and everything there. So yeah, we'll continue.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
But 35, almost $36 million, and that's just ad revenue.
Let me know. This was back during like the Ray William Johnson days, right? The monotone, like him talking about how he'll never monetize, and if he does, he'll like donate his money.
Until today, I have made $35.8 million. I never even imagined that amount of money was possible to earn without just being born rich. I have said from day one, I got incredibly lucky. I will never be able to put into words just how lucky I got with all of this shit here. I'm not special. I got lucky. I have always said that, and I still believe that to this day. Now, something I saw a lot of people asking after the video I made about turning off all the donation stuff is how much money I'm leaving on the table. And while it's kind of hard,
I don't think he cares how much he's leaving on the table. He's made so much from everything. I mean, memberships is $500,000. Super chats and gifts is another $500,000. Shorts, ads, and feeds is covered by his picture here, so I don't know that amount. But yeah, I don't think he cares how much he's leaving on the table. I just wish at this point he would, set all that in, maybe he's got some guy who just keeps track of everything throughout the stream, and they just, write down all the donation totals, put all that into a specific pile, and he just donates that at the end of each stream or something. Donates it at the end of the year. Like, he could do some substantial good with the amount of money that people would still give him if he would take it.
To show it on Twitch, considering both subs and bits are technically still on, even though I discourage both and have bits at a point where I don't think it's even possible to use them. I still can't get like a hard number on what's like gone now or anything like that, but on YouTube I can show you directly. So with memberships and supers / gifts, I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. So it was $1 million in a year.
Yeah, I joked back when 3 years ago, when Charlie made this video here, I bought an amusement park where throughout it, he's just going through and it's like he's talking about it, like here's where he used to play as a kid, he used to play growing up as a kid, he used to take dates here and whatnot. And then we're getting to the end here where, they've got an auction going for you to, try to bid on things. And you'd think with someone who walked in there and looks like Charlie does, where it's, a white t-shirt, black shorts, and the guy looks like this, but hilariously, out of everybody standing out here in this entire crowd, it's like Charlie is hilariously probably the richest, even if you took everybody else here and combined their wealth together. Charlie's still worth more. It's one of those where I was just looking and I'm like, this is actually kind of nuts. To be honest, I mean, I'm not unhappy about it. This is hilarious to watch, but it's nuts just going, yeah, Charlie definitely had more money than anybody else here. And this was 3 years ago before I even saw these numbers that he just shared.
From just
Man, my palms are sweaty. You got to go back to that image. So we're talking about. I think he showed like 2017 was like the start of the monetization. 35
Yeah, it looked
million
like
dollars over the
2016,
past
17 is when he
9
started
years.
getting paid.
I'm sure he scaled like many content creators during the COVID boom. Let's just call it what it is, the COVID boom, right? That he was able to just immediately launch off. Everyone's on the platform, easily making $5 to $7 million a year. Just
Oh, yeah.
off of
Easily.
YouTube, right? Again, this is
Easily.
This isn't sponsorships. This is no exclusive contracts. And let's just say that he was able to maintain 30% of it, right? Just because I don't know, managers, taxes.
He's in Florida. 0 state income tax on that one. He made that amount for the tax part. He only had to pay the federal taxes on it and, you know, his whatever his staffing fees and everything. But I guarantee you, Charlie himself is still a multi-millionaire.
All of those aspects, right? Between Twitch and between YouTube, he was able to. I mean, he's easily worth $10 million, like minimum, right? Minimum.
Yeah, at the bottom end. He has, but you know, and then he's got his soap company, Cheeky. Like he's got so much that he's done. I think he even still has his white shirts, his white T-shirts that he's like, yeah, this is just the one I wear, so I figured I'd, you know, sell them for you guys to buy. And it's like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, he's, you know, knows what people want. They want a simple product. Maybe they want to, you know, cosplay as him for Halloween or something.
Teams upon teams of, you know, whatever off-platform things that he's doing.
But on YouTube, I can show you directly.
Just I applaud this open transparency. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So with members,
I want to see every single creator do this. I want to see every creator go through their numbers and share like Charlie does here. For both, you know, all this, they don't have to do their sponsorships and like brand deals and whatnot. That stuff can stay hidden behind the scenes because I'm sure some of them are under specific contracts that don't let people do that. But I want to see every creator do this to see who, you know, where everybody's standing actually. It would be interesting to see, all right, who's, you know, squeezing their audience for every penny, who's barely taking a dime from anybody, who's similar to levels to Charlie, who they work hard, but they definitely have earned it all. Like, Charlie is one of those creators who you hear him talk, you see a video of his, and you know that, yeah, he deserved every dollar.
Memberships and supers / gifts, I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. So it was $1 million in a year from just normal people donating it to me. Again, that just doesn't fucking sit right with me. Now I know.
I mean, hey, if he fears that he was putting people into debt, again, that's not on Charlie. That's on the people who donate. There are donate buttons there. Yes, we are in a capitalist society that does want every dollar you make. It wants you to buy things. It wants you to buy experiences and stuff and do different things. And yeah, that's not always the best for the culture, but it's the best one we got. And it doesn't mean you just have to click buy now, buy now, buy now, subscribe every time something pops up in front of you.
I know there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have significantly more money than me and have subs and donations on and whatever. I don't care. Like I said, this is not me trying to lead some kind of revolution here where all of them turn it off. It's their choice to make. I wanted to explain fully.
I don't think they should follow him and turn it off necessarily. Like I said, I think he should turn his on and just have it kept track of somehow to just make a mass donation at the end of each stream or end of each year, have a really big donation to some good cause.
Why I don't want normal people just giving me their money anymore at all. Also, to be honest, I think just full goatseeing, showing how much streaming
I mean, if Charlie really feels this way about it, he could leave it on, let people continue donating to him, watching his videos, increasing that big pile of money, and then instead of just donating it, he could do what other people have done and make videos where you go disperse that back out and donate to other creators and share the wealth around. Like, those are some of my favorite wholesome moments because you can make a creator's day. Maybe the creator is raising money for certain medical bills to pay for. Maybe they're trying to buy a new piece of equipment to upgrade their streaming setup. And it's like if you go in and you make one little donation or one big donation and you give them their goal and you're like, yep, here's your new camera, enjoy. Or here's your new PC, buy one from Starforge because it's Charlie and he's part owner.
Slash YouTubing can make, just showing you the full unedited raw numbers is probably helpful for normal people so they can see how much money is in this space. Because
Listen,
if you're here at this,
I mean, him and finance, Jonesing. Yeah, finance creators make a fucking lot of money because their viewers usually have a lot more money to spend. And they see more expensive ads, they buy more expensive items, they do more expensive things. And so, yeah, those creators that are in finance get paid a lot higher.
I don't know what the timestamp is. Let me know down in the comments. These kind of conversations are so beneficial that need to be had. I hate the aspect of pocket watching is a negative conversation, right? No, we need to have an open and honest conversation. Now, are you likely to make $35 million on YouTube? No. He even talked about it. He's lucky. But I want to have the open and honest conversation. Like, what if you do this on the side? What if we do this as a hobby?
Because I think there's often so many question marks from people wondering how much does a streamer or YouTuber make? They'll either say like they're making billions of dollars or they're making nothing. There's never like
there is a massive.
He's not wrong, right? Because
there is a massive discrepancy,
me, right? Like as a content creator, I think about the scale. I made nothing. Now I make pennies to $1 a day. There's a level, right? A compounding level of where the ads, the views, where everything just starts making sense. But there's no in between, right? You're either making nothing or you're blessed to be in this weird position. I think that sort of probably is like around the 100K subscriber mark, specifically if you're having an active long form viewership.
Between, because there's never any like really hard numbers to look at. So I think something like this can be helpful for that, especially because over the years I've noticed there's been a multitude of creators that have come out and tried to like underplay how well off they are financially because they believe it could be somewhat of a.
Yeah, that is a scummy thing, and I think if you're a creator doing that and you're like, oh, but I still need more money, I still need you to donate to me, when you have millions in the bank and you're living in a lavish house, a really nice place, and it's like, I don't mind if you live in a nice place. That's the one point I give Hassan Piker, where he lives in a big house and he fully admits it. He's like, yeah, and I make content out of several different rooms. I've got my podcast room, my stream room. I've got this other spot that I do other things in. And it's like, okay, fair point. You're making content. You're using some of the rooms as studio spaces. Okay. And you admitted fully that you're wealthy and you live in a big house. Okay. A few points to him. Like I said, I'm a fair individual and will try to give you credit everywhere it's due. Like I'm a heavy Android user. I have only used like 1 or 2 Apple products in my life, and I never liked most of the time I was on it. But I will give Apple credit that when they made the Retina display on their MacBooks and then put it on some of their other devices, that was a 4K display before 4K was the thing. It was an incredible technology. And then, Apple has their M1 chips. They brought those out, and those made some very fucking powerful laptops where I was at the point where if someone was wanting a new laptop and they weren't going to want it for gaming, I'm recommending a Mac. It's like Apple actually knocked a couple things out of the park there and did great. Also, the AirPods with their seamless transitioning, jumping device to device, that is so much better than Android. Android's still not quite to that level. But I'll give Apple credit when they do it. I'm waiting for Apple to make a folding screen because I know they won't release anything subpar and have that nice Apple hinge in the folding phone space. I want to get a folding phone so bad, but none of the Android models are quite good enough yet. If you've seen my Pixel video, you'll know.
Yeah, especially, I mean,
or my reaction to jerry rig everything on the new Pixel Fold, you'll know.
If everyone knew that Charlie was continuously making $7 million a year publicly just based off of like one avenue, one revenue source, it comes off a little weird, right? I mean, you can see his room. It looks super fancy. So you know he's doing well. But there are
Yeah.
other platforms.
And if you look at the past for Charlie's room, you can see him slowly upgrade and add things over time to where he finally got it to this point, and it's nice and perfect for him.
Content creators who have come up, rose over the ranks to specifically be the voice of people, right? And it comes off like a smack in the face or spit in the face where you're talking to an average, let's just say middle class, someone making $50,000 to $70,000, struggling, working paycheck to paycheck.
I mean, I guarantee you most of his audience is making less than that, and they're at the younger end of the spectrum there. And maybe some of them are college age, late high school, and they're making like 20 to 40K at most.
And you're making $7 million a year. And again, he's not the most active streamed content creators who
Yep.
maximize their different ways of monetization, of super chats, donations, sponsorships, ad reads, and all of these different other means and methods. It just comes off speaking off like you're I don't know, some like socialist, but all of a sudden you're the one who's like making $10 million a month in some cases.
Brand risk where if they are perceived as being someone that's very rich, well, maybe their audience wouldn't like them as much because they're no longer relatable.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is something
I mean, that's the one thing Mr. Beast, I think, ran into. It's like he does so many lavish things for his videos that people are like, oh, he's out of touch. He's that wealthy guy now. But in reality, he kind of lives at his studio because he just loves to make content. He only had to buy a better house because people kept breaking into his, house that was in a normal neighborhood. His address would get leaked, or people would find him going home, and then all of a sudden his house is broken into again. Someone stole all his shit, which was after he had his little jump up lavish lifestyle little binge, right after he started making money, to where he's like, oh yeah, actually I don't need all this shit. And then he, went back to just living like a normal dude. Like, he might have a couple expensive items and, he runs an expensive lifestyle, but it only is to follow his content drive.
seen here and there over the years from a bunch of different creators, and I just find it a bit disingenuous. So hopefully something like this can help show that if someone is in like the top sphere of YouTube or Twitch, they are very, very well off financially. Anyway, though,
Oh,
if you add both
100%
of these
they are.
numbers up, I've made a total of $41.3 million. But that's not to say that's what I have. Now, I do live in Florida, which means there is no individual income tax. Big
Yep.
time Florida W right there.
Big time W there. Basically, my plan, if I hit monetization, is to move to one of those states with zero income tax, because I don't want to just be giving my money to my state because they suck.
And I know, I'm big time gushing grannies, Florida glazer. I've lived here my whole life, and that is something very nice about it.
I mean, hey, they've got great Second Amendment rights down there, so...
But it's not to say that the tax man comes in gentle with the lube. He still goes whole hog raw. It is still
I mean,
brutal.
Uncle Sam
The
is
tax
still
man
federal.
comes a-knockin'. He'll blow up your guts. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
Uncle Sam still is with the federal government, not your state. He still wants his cut. So, yeah, that's going to be there. But at least he was saved on the state and, won't wind up losing half of it like he would if he were in California or something.
Obviously, a good chunk instantly goes to tax.
Like, that's what I don't get, why so many creators who live in California and are making so much money. It's like, you guys could simply move states. One state over from California to Nevada. Go live outside of Vegas. Yeah, it's a smaller creator economy. There is some there, but it's a lot smaller. It's more of a touristy city, but if you look at it, you go, oh, I could make an extra like 20% a year by doing nothing different? Okay. Like, that's what I would do. And 100%, if you're in California, your state is wasting your money.
There's also like salaries for the people that I pay on my team, other expenses.
Yeah, like just obviously, right, we're talking about immediate revenue. We're not even talking about any of the expenses, any of the taxes, any of the other payroll. I don't know how many people he has on his team. Maybe he's hiring out, externally or using an agency or a manager, whatever that is. But everyone takes a cut, right? So seeing all of these numbers, obviously
The raw data is very
content creators been doing this long enough to
mouth-watering.
not have to worry about any of the potential backlash. He knows what to do, right? He's sitting at like 20 million subscribers. But if you like conversations like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other topics you want me to see down or you want to talk about down in the comments below. Peace.
Yeah, it was a fantastic video. I am definitely subscribing to his channel. If you happen to be new around here and you're still here at the end of the video, subscribe to his channel as well. Subscribe to mine, hit the like button on both, and have a wonderful day. I will see you later.